Welcome to a conversation with Dan O'Neill, President and CIO of Direxion Funds based in New York. Mr. O'Neill, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Could you give us a brief history of the ETFs?
Sure. I mean, ETFs started out about 2 decades ago now. It's about 15 years, I guess. And it's really coming from a desire among investors to trade things other than single stocks. And you see that in the growth of a lot of parts of the industry. But the ETF industry started with broad-based indexes like the S&P 500 and moved into more narrow sectors. And then what we do is provide leveraged and inverse ETFs, which is a sort of further evolution of the ETF industry. It's all about providing access for retail investors and institutional investors who use exchange-traded products to all sorts of different sectors and indexes. And you see now international ETFs, you see levered long and short. It essentially allows people to be very athletic with their portfolios and get exposure with picking one ticker. And so it's become enormously popular.
And why are they attractive to investors, and what types of investors are interested in them?
I think in general there's a wide range of investors. Some investors, the buy and hold type investors, like them because they're easily accessible. You can buy them on an exchange. They're very transparent, and in many cases, especially the broad-based ones, they're quite inexpensive. The expense ratios are quite low. But they're also extremely attractive to tactical investors, people who want to get in and out of the market on a regular basis. They may have a short-term opinion. They may be risk managing or managing risk and looking to get out of a position quickly. And so the beauty of ETFs is that they appeal to both people who are interested in strategic long-term positions, but also because they're exchange traded and because in most cases the liquidity is quite good, you can get in and out of positions. And so they're appealing both to strategic and tactical investors, and I think they're also appealing to everything from retail investors, sort of the mom and pop investor who's buying $10,000 worth, to the institutional, the big players. If you look at the public filings on a lot of ETFs, there are some very big institutional players in these products because they too value the transparency and the accessibility that the ETFs provide.
And Mr. O'Neill, where have you expanded recently, and what was your experience?
We launched our first ETFs in November of 2008 into the relatively difficult volatile market and had very good take-up. Our ETFs are generally leveraged long and short 3 times, so 300%. We started out with financials, energies, and large cap and small cap. We've recently moved more into international ETFs. We recently launched China, India, and we're just continuing to sort of build out our portfolio. In general, I think what we look for is areas of the market where there is already liquidity. There may be a healthy, robust 1-beta ETF. And we look at those areas and say, would there be an appetite for a leveraged or inverse product? And so that's the way we approach the market.
And finally, why is Asia an attractive market for you?
I mean, I think Asia is an attractive market for everyone in terms of, you come out here, it's so dynamic. There's so much going on. It is, obviously the economies are booming, and the financial markets, I think, are not at the, are in some ways and naturally somewhat behind the developed markets. And so there's enormous opportunity here, both because the economic picture appears to be so bright and also because there's substantial room for further development of the financial markets. So as a provider of ETFs and financial products generally, Asia is enormously appealing.
Thank you very much for joining us today, Mr. O'Neill.
Thanks for having me.